6 months, countless flights, and plenty of crashes. This is the iFlight Nazgul Evoque F5 V2 in the Deadcat version. And in this video, I'm going to give you my honest 6 months review. There'll be no hype, no spec sheet chat, just honest flight experience. I've been putting this drone through the test. We've done some good cinematic flights, some nice freestyling, and some very high pushes. And I'm going to tell you how it's held up, what I love about it, what I don't love about it, and is it still worth buying in 2025? I'm Andy from Drone Age UK. Let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is the build. Because honestly, when you fly FPV, the big question is always the same: can it survive your mistakes? And the Nazgul Evoque, yeah, it's taken some serious hits. I've smacked it into trees, I've cartwheeled it across grass fields, and I've bounced it off of dirt tracks. And I even had those moments where I've just sat and watched it tumble out of the sky, and I just think, oh, it's going to be expensive. But here's the thing. More often than not, I just walk over, I pick it up, I straighten out the props, and I plug in another pack, and it's good to go again. And that really says a lot about how well this frame is built. The carbon arms are really thick and solid. They don't twist, they don't feel flimsy, and after 6 months of abuse, I haven't managed to snap one. Touch wood. Even the mounting points feel solid. No wobbly arms or loose screws creeping in over the time, and I've had plenty of that with other quads. And then the little details, the way the frame is reinforced, the aluminium camera plates that keep the O3 protected, and the side panels. They're not only there just to look cool or to hold the LEDs, but they also shield the electronics from grass, mud and debris. And it's those touches that make it feel like a more premium, thought out design rather than just another freestyle frame. Alright, let's talk about how this thing actually flies. The Nazgul Evoque F5 has honestly been a blast in the air. Those Thing 2 motors still feel super responsive. They've got plenty of power when you punch out, but smooth enough when you just want to cruise for cinematic shots, and I'm doing that quite a lot, to be honest. Because it's got a Deadcat frame, you don't see props in the footage, which makes it perfect for cinematic lines. At the same time, it still feels agile enough to throw around for freestyling. It's not the lightest quad out there, but it strikes a nice balance. It's stable, predictable, and with enough punch to make it exciting. And even after 6 months, I haven't noticed any weird vibrations or tuning issues. It still feels really locked in, nice and secure, which is, very confidence inspiring, whether I'm flying close to the ground or sending it high for long range. And as you can see, when it comes to handling, it feels solid, whether I'm carving through trees, ripping across open fields, or just flying smooth cinematic lines. The Evoque has been consistent and reliable every time. Now let's talk about video quality, because this is one of the biggest reasons to pick up the Evoque with the O3 Air Unit. Straight out of the goggles, the feed is crisp, low latency, and responsive enough that every stick input feels instant. I always know exactly what the quad is doing, even when I'm pushing it further out. The clarity in the goggles has honestly made me a better pilot, just because I can see more detail in the environment. And when it comes to recording, the O3 delivers stunning footage. You can shoot up to 4K with rock steady stabilization, which makes even my less than perfect lines look buttery smooth. The wide field of view keeps it immersive, and honestly, it feels more like a GoPro than an FPV camera at this point. In low light, the O3 still holds up surprisingly well. It's not perfect, but compared to older FPV systems, it's miles ahead. Colours stay sharp, and you don't get that muddy image you used to see when the sun starts going down. So whether I'm just flying for fun or grabbing cinematic shots for a video, the O3 has been rock solid, reliable, clean, and definitely one of the highlights of flying the Evoque. So let's talk about flight time. On a 6S 1500 mAh pack, I'm getting about 7 to 8 minutes on average. And if I'm flying smooth cinematic lines, I can stretch that closer to 9 minutes. But if I am ripping around doing full freestyle and hammering the throttle, that number can drop pretty quickly into like the 5 to 6 minute range. But honestly though, that's pretty standard for a 5-inch quad with this much power. For me, it's a good balance. I can usually get the shots I want in a single pack, and with a couple of batteries in the bag, I've never really felt limited. If you're used to lightweight freestyle rigs that squeeze out longer sessions, you might notice the Evoque drains packs a bit quicker, but that's the trade-off you make for durability and for the extra protection that this frame offers. Now, every quad has a few trade-offs, and the Evoque is no different. The first one is the weight. It's not the lightest quad in the world, and you do feel that when you're trying to do really sharp, snappy freestyle moves. It's got the power to carry the weight, but you can tell it's built to be tough first and acrobatic second. And for me, that actually adds confidence when I'm flying low to the ground or in tighter spots, because it feels stable and planted. But if you're all about ultra, aggressive and freestyle, it's worth keeping in mind. Another thing is the protective side panels. I really like them for keeping out the grass, dust and mud, but if you're flying around concrete or harder surfaces, they do scuff up. It's nothing that stops you flying, but it does mean that the quad starts to look pretty used pretty quickly. And personally, I don't mind that. It's like a battle scar really, but if you want your quad looking shiny and new forever, that's going to be a challenge. And then there's the price. By the time you add the O3 system, you're definitely looking at the higher end of the ready-to-fly market. For someone just getting into FPV, it's not a cheap setup, but the way I look at it, you're paying for reliability and performance. Over 6 months, I haven't had to do any constant repairs or replace things, and that peace of mind is worth something. It's an investment, but one that feels like it's paid off for me. And so yeah, the Evoque isn't perfect. It's heavier than some freestyle quads. The panels will get marked up, and it's definitely not the cheapest rig out there. But despite those things, it's one of the most reliable and enjoyable drones that I've flown from, and for me, the strengths far outweigh the downsides. So after a half year of flying the Nazgul Evoque, I can say it's one of the drones that's earned my trust. It's not just about performance on paper, it's about how it's held up in the real world. From smooth cinematic flights at golden hour to the occasional hard crash into the grass and even concrete, this thing has kept going. I've flown quads that felt amazing for the first few weeks but started giving me headaches and little issues over time. The Evoque hasn't done that. It's been reliable, consistent, and it's one of the rigs I actually reach for when I want to get the job done. It's not perfect, as I said. It's a little on the heavier side, the side panels will show wear and tear, and the price isn't the lowest. But here's the thing, when you've got a drone that keeps delivering great footage, it doesn't constantly need fixing, and it still flies smooth after months of use, those downsides start to feel pretty small. I think that's the Evoque's biggest strength. It's a drone that you can rely on, whether you're going for freestyle fun, or if you're setting up for a cinematic shot. You know what you're going to get when you plug in a battery. For me, that reliability is worth more than shaving a few grams of weight or saving a little money up front. This isn't just a shelf queen, it's a proper workhorse, and after 6 months, I still get excited every time I fly it. So yeah, if you're looking for a 5-inch rig that can take a beating, deliver clean video and still feel great to fly, the Nazgul Evoque F5 V2 Deadcat is absolutely worth considering. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're flying one, or even if you've got a different go-to setup, let me know in the comments. I always enjoy hearing what the community is flying and what's working for you. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed watching this review and want to see more FPV content, drone reviews or cinematic flights, hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. I've got lots lined up and plenty of projects that I can't wait to share with you. So until the next time, happy flying. I'm Andy from Drone Age UK, and I'll see you in the next video.